Hey guys, what's up? It's Shelby and welcome back to my channel. So today is the start of Mystery Monday, so I'm going to be doing a whole lot of true crime, unsolved murders, solved murders. I might throw some in there, missing persons cases, yeah, you know the deal. I'm really excited. I enjoy watching these videos, and so I actually enjoyed researching them as well. So I have my first case. I actually got this case from somebody on TikTok. I had saw them like a while ago post about it. They were, walking around the actual area and giving some facts about it and stuff. This is an unsolved murder of 4 different cases, including 2 people, so they were a double homicide, and they have never been found. Like, the person that did it has never been found. So yeah, let's just get right into this video. So today we're talking about the Colonial Parkway murders. The Colonial Parkway is a highway in Virginia. It is so beautiful. It is surrounded by nature and dense woods, and the person on TikTok that I saw was kind of by this beach area. I don't know if that is somewhere in that area as well, but I did see it on hers and while she was walking through. But it is mostly just woods and nature, and it is really beautiful. It is definitely different from highways, because like actual, highways, because there is not a lot of exits on this road. It is pretty much just a straight stretch of nature and highway. Alright, so let's start off with the first double homicide case. Kathleen Thomas was 27 years old and she was a graduate of the Naval Academy. And Rebecca Dowski, 21, was a student at William and Mary. They were last seen leaving a computer lab together, but they had never returned home, and they were soon reported missing. And this all happened on October 1986. On October 12th, there was a call to the police saying that there was an unknown car just parked in the Colonial Parkway area. So the police went down there to investigate. The reason that it was reported so like a couple days later is because it was parked kind of down away from the highway. I don't know what that is called. I think it's called an embankment kind of area. But it was found down there, so the person who found it was more than likely taking a walk around that area or had stepped out of their car for a break or something and took a little walk to, see nature or whatever, and they ended up finding the car. So they called it because nobody obviously was in it or around it, so they called it in. It was identified as Kathleen's car, and when they searched the car, they found both of their bodies. They were strangled and bound with rope, and their throats were slit, and they were slit so bad that their heads were almost decapitated. Rebecca was found in the back seat, and Kathleen was found in the trunk. There was no evidence of sexual assault, and there was no evidence of robbery because all of their belongings were found in the car. Their purses, wallets, everything that they had in the car was still in the car. Nothing was taken. The police thought that the murder had happened elsewhere, and they were brought to this area because of the lack of blood actually in the vehicle. If you were to slit somebody's throat that deep, there would be a lot of blood, but there was very minimal blood found actually in the car. They also believe that the killer tried to burn the car because there was gasoline found, but obviously it didn't work because the car was still there. The police searched extensively to try to find who did this and everything. I mean, they really tried hard, but they found nothing, and pretty soon this case went completely cold. That was until September 22nd, 1987, when 2 bodies were found by an embankment by James River. The bodies belonged to David Nobling, who was 26, and Robin Edwards, who was only 14. They are said to have met at an arcade that day, and when Robin went home, he ended up sneaking out to allegedly go meet David. David's car was found parked up in a parking lot by the bridge for James River. The police found 2 pairs of underwear in the car, as well as David's wallet and a pair of shoes. The driver's window was also cracked down a bit, about halfway, which leads the police to believe that somebody either pretending to be or was a person of uniform, being a cop, anybody like that, because when you are in a area like this, you don't just roll your window down and talk to people, it's kind of secluded, but if you were to have gotten pulled over or a cop pulled up, you would definitely roll your window down to talk to them, you know what I mean? So Robin was shot once in the back of the head, execution style, and David was shot twice, once in the head and once to the shoulder. The shot to the shoulder makes police believe that he had tried to run away, but ultimately was shot down by and murdered. And when they were found, Robin's pants were actually pulled like halfway down, which they thought could have been sexual assault, but that was never determined. And of course, the police tried again, anything that they could do to figure out who did this, but this case went cold really fast. Not even a year later, a car was found. This was the car of Richard Call, who was 20 years old, and Cassandra Haley, who was with him, who is only 18. Those two were dating, and they were going out on their first date. They had went to this party, and they left the party a while later, and that was the last time that they were ever seen. Nobody knows where they were going, where they went, nothing. They left the party, and that was the last time anyone ever saw them. His car was found at York Outlook in Colonial Park, only 2 miles away from where Kathleen and Rebecca's car was found and where their bodies were found. All their clothes and stuff were in there. Richard's wallet and Cassandra's purse were found in the car, but their bodies have never been found, but they are presumed to be dead. Memorial Day weekend of 1989, Danielle Lahr, who was 21, and Anna Marie Phillips, who was 18, were driving to Daniel's brother's house for a extended weekend, seeing it was Memorial Day. It was a long weekend. They were heading to Daniel's brother's house, and Anna Marie was dating Daniel's brother. They went missing on September 5th. They were reported missing, and then Daniel's car was found on the highway. It was near Colonial Parkway at New Kent Stop, I-64, and their car was facing the wrong way. It was on the other side of the highway, like going away from where they were supposed to be going. Like if Daniel's house was this way, they were going this way. All of their belongings were found in the car. Anna Marie's purse and Danielle's wallet were all found in there. A month later, on October 19th, their bodies were found by a hunter who was walking the area. It was a logging road that the hunter found them on. They were wrapped in a blanket that is said to have come from Daniel's car, and they were so badly decomposed they couldn't figure out the cause of death, but Anna Marie did have signs on her bones of multiple stab wounds, so they are thinking that they were stabbed to death. And there was no way to find any evidence of sexual assault, so they kind of ruled that out. And as you guessed it, this case went cold really fast. So the police think that this case is linked because there is no signs of robbery in any of them. They were all found in a lover's lane type area. There was no sexual assault found in any of them, and they were all kind of linked by a car. Like there was always a car in the situation, and it was always a couple or two people. A lot of people did not think that these cases were linked at all, because if you haven't noticed, the killing method were all different. Like the first one, they were strangled, there were shot, one of them was never determined, and the last one was stabbing. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not linked, because some serial killers will try different methods to figure out their preferred way of killing. So if this was like his first couple murders, he was, trying to do whatever he could to figure out what his style of it was. If we could find the bodies of Cassandra and Richard and say that they were stabbed, that would be, double in, killing method, meaning that he had found, his way of killing. A private investigator was set to this case. His name is Steve Mangola. He thinks that Rebecca and Kathleen's murder is not linked to the other 3 murders. He actually thinks it is linked to a different murder that happened in a different park area. So on Memorial Day weekend of 1996, Lolly Wernans, who is 26, I know I butchered that last name, I'm sorry, and Julia Williams, who is 21, were all on a camping trip together, and then they never came back and they were reported missing. They were also found with their throats slit severely. So it is said that Lolly and Julia were in a relationship, as well as Rebecca and Kathleen were said to be in a relationship. So Steve believes that these were hate crimes because it was 1996, you know, being gay wasn't really a open thing yet, so he believes that those were hate crimes, so he doesn't believe that Kathleen and Rebecca's murders are related to the other 3 murders at all. The police talked to over 150 people of interest, but they were all released, and now there is no evidence, there is no suspects in this case, and it has gone cold. There is nothing else that they can really do. In 2018, Kathleen's brother came out and said that there was DNA found that matched 3 out of the 4 murders. Everybody in this case, all the police, all the families and friends, are super excited and very hopeful that once this DNA test runs through, that it will be determined who the killer is and everything, and to see if all of these are linked together or not. That DNA testing has not been done yet, but it is very hopeful. It is a final lead in this case. I just want to give my condolences to everybody that has been affected by this, family of the victims, you know, friends of the victims, people who knew them, people who lived there that were living in fear, everything. I mean no harm when it comes to these videos. I just want to get this out there for you guys in case you might know something. You might know somebody who knew a little bit too much about this case or something. Who knows? I'm just getting my word out there. And yes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see next down below. Don't forget to follow my social medias. They are linked down below as well. I post on Mondays and Thursdays at 1:30 Central Time, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!